All right, y'all. What's going on? This looks like a really choppy connection. We're going to chit chat again today. Y'all know I be having a lot going on and a lot on my mind, right? But something happened to me today that I have to speak on. Y'all know I use my real life to talk about stuff, right? And so I know a lot of people don't like that because I be talking about them because they be doing whatever they be doing and I be putting their business out on the streets. Listen, if you're one of those people that is like super like private about what you do and this and that and that and this, don't come around me because I'm finna use anything that comes across my path to feed my father's sheep, right? So I wish somebody were logged in. Let me see if I can share this while I'm going on. Welcome to my live chat. Guard my privacy. Whatever. And I'm going to share this thing. Hopefully. I don't know if y'all are still seeing me. I know last time the sound quality was really crappy. All right, so I'm posting this on Facebook. Let's talk. Give me 1 second, everybody. Now, hopefully, it went ahead and shared it, and then you guys can find this link. Okay, so what did it do? Did it freeze you guys for that? Doing that? What happened there? Either way. All right, so listen, right? Something happened to me today that I got to talk about, and I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes, so I'm going to skip a lot of the fluff and stuff. All praises to the Most High God. I had an incredibly wonderful and successful day, and yesterday I got a blessing that I just don't even know how to contain myself. Just so much is going on, y'all, right now in the spirit world, and manifestation is the name of the game. You hear me? But let's talk about what happened to me today, okay? So today, I was at the immigration office in Belmopan, and there was a colonizer there, right, an Edomite, aka a white man. And he was very friendly and things like it wasn't like we had some bad run-in, right? He was very friendly, kind. We had actually a pretty good conversation. Dude from Canada, right? And there were a few things that he presented that were so absurd that I could barely stay in my body and listen to it. Okay, I just wanted to float myself clear up out of the room and up to the heavens and come back down after he was done with this nonsense. So, and of course, y'all know me, I challenged him on the spot with them, and then he kind of backed down and just kind of like, oh, I'm trying not to be that way, which a lot of them are, right? So the fact of the matter is, these people don't even know how they are still colonizing. They don't know how inherently racist they are. They don't know how delusional they are about what's really going on in the world, right? So the first thing that was puzzling to me was he presented his being here in Belize as being stuck here, right? So I don't know how that happens because I'm sure Canada would have him back, but I didn't ask questions about that. But you're not in the like the Canadian embassy trying to go home. You're in the Immigration and Nationalization Department. So how are you stuck here? I don't know. Maybe he was trying to get passports for his kids to get out. He did have a little mixed child, so and so I'm assuming he came here. He's been here for a while, over a decade. So I'm assuming he came, got him a little Belizean wife, made him some little Belizean babies, and then ta-da, I'm Belizean, right? So how that gets you stuck here, I don't know. But that was a little perplexing. But that was the least of the perplexing things that he said, right? And not even that it was what he said was perplexing. It was just dead ass wrong. I mean, dead dog wrong, okay? Y'all got to forgive me. I am really working on this cussing thing. So he says to me, I told him I live in PG. He was like, oh God, it's boring down there, right? And I said, no, man, I like it. It's quiet. I went down there for that. Like, I like it. It's quiet. I don't have to deal with a bunch of the drama. He's like, oh, yeah, but you're going to eventually get bored. I'm like, I've been there for 2 years, dude. I'm not bored. I'm too busy to be bored. So then he wanted to know what I was into. And I started talking to him about my work, right? And like, how I work with Delisions. I partner with Delisions to really enhance their understanding of their wealth being the land, and to unbrainwash them from American television and all of the other outside influences that would have them to believe that everything about them is inferior to the global culture, which is gobbling up the nations of the world. So I basically break that down to him pretty simple. And he says, yeah, but I mean, when you're talking about a place like PG, the town is so boring, there's nothing there for tourists, and you need tourism to survive. Can we stop telling that ridiculous lie? Can we really just stop? Listen, white people, nobody needs you to come visit in order to survive. Clearly, they were surviving before you got there. Like, it's bull. So then he tries me with them. Like, that's nonsense. He's like, well, there are many jobs and this and that. I'm like, yeah, so? He's like, well, how are you going to survive? I said, what do you mean? He says, well, how are you going to have water? I'm like, okay, so you could either dig a well or catch rainwater. Both of those are free. Yeah, well, what about electricity? I said, well, you could put up a solar system if you insisted on electricity, but like electricity is not that serious, right? Like ain't nobody going to like die if they don't have electricity. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I said, you know what? That's the problem. I said, you have such a colonized, can you please not colonize right now in the immigration office? Like nobody needs you to come in order to survive. So we have to start casting down these delusions, and when we hear them on the spot, we have to shut it down. Because this idea that the rest of the world needs white people to show up and colonize their places in order for them to survive is the exact opposite of what happens. Like y'all know, those of you that follow me, those of you who watch my videos know I talk about this as often as I have to. There are no places in the world where people were somewhere struggling and having a hard way to go, and then white folks showed up and made life better. That didn't happen, never, ever, nowhere yet in history. It did not happen. What you have is the opposite. You have thriving cultures all over the globe, and then white people show up with their help, and somehow the cultures are destroyed. The people start having all these health problems that they never had before, all these social issues that they never had before. They start dealing with domestic violence and drugs and teen violence and robberies, and you start having all this stuff creep up that was never a part of the culture before. You have complete exploitation of the people. You have people who never had poverty. Now you got people living in poverty because they go, and the white people are going to help them out by unloading some land for them. They give them a few dollars. They take the land. The money runs out. Then the people are poor. Then you're dealing with poverty. The health issues come in because the white folks come and then they want to find Kellogg's brand cereal. So what do? They start making sure that all of the poisons and toxins that they created in their world are available to hit them here in this world. And then they convince you that if you can't afford them and if you can't have them, somehow you're backward or lacking. And it is time for us to call out these delusions of these people. Now, if we're all going to be on team, all people are going to have to work together in order for us to survive as a human race. First of all, I don't ascribe to that. But let's just, for argument's sake, say that we did. You cannot work and build on delusion and falsehood. Like the fact that these people believe that their tourism is the survival of any nation. It is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And it's offensive. It's disgusting. And it's a bold, outright lie and a trick of the devil. And this is what they tell people so that people will shuck and jive and bow to them when they show up, as if they like... I cannot with this mess anymore. We have to confront this nonsense, you guys. We have to stop perpetuating and telling these ridiculous, crazy lies. So, the question, though, is what lies are you telling yourself about how useful you are to other people and how critical you are to their survival? Right? Because chances are they've been getting along just fine in their life without you. Even if they've had a hard life, they still living. They were living when you met them. Stop being colonizers and running into people's lives as if you're going to fix their life with your resources and your bright ideas. It's just not how it goes. It's just not how it goes. If you're a person who enters into communities that do have different needs, if you don't... Trying to get a mosquito. I got him. Sucker. He bit me 3 times, y'all. I got him, though. If you don't enter... go close the you guys' door, please. If you don't enter communities that have need with an understanding of reciprocity, I'm going to need you to just stay in America or wherever, okay? Because let's start telling some truth, okay? Colonizers, black and white, let's start telling some truth. These nations and people don't need you. You need them. You need peace and quiet from the chaos of America. You need good organic food. You need places where you don't hear sirens all day. You need places where you can still look up at the skies and see more stars than you could ever imagine to count. Like, I've forgotten how many stars are in the sky until I came down here and look up and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember being a kid and being absolutely amazed at how many stars are up there. Like, you don't have that experience anymore in Philly, not even on the clearest night, not even in bougie Colorado, like Boulder, right? Like, you don't look up and get that same impact of the stars. Why? Because they've polluted the air. They've done all this weird, stupid stuff to the ionosphere. They're blocking out the sun because they're non-melanated, weak skin, can't take the sun. So they're crisscrossing the sun with all this crazy stuff to block out the power of the sun. And then they realize that, oh crap, what the world we've created causes cancer. And then their end result is that, listen to this, what the man said, y'all. He was talking about, he said, I don't even know how we got over into here, right? He was talking about nations needing them and things, right? And I was like, basically, I call bullshit. And so then he went into this example of the difference between Haiti and Japan, when Haiti had the hurricane and when Japan had the tsunami. And he talked about how in Haiti, how ungrateful the people were, and how you as a nation, how people in these nations like Belize need to be humble and grateful. Because when Haiti had their hurricane, the people were so ungrateful that they wouldn't even let supplies and stuff in. Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why in case you don't know why, okay? You had organizations like the Clinton Foundation. I know y'all black folks love them Clintons, but they literally raised billions of dollars for Haitian aid, enough to rebuild an entire Haiti, right? Like, you could rebuild all of Haiti with the money that these foundations raised, them and the Red Cross and all of them, right? They raised all these billions of dollars. And do you know what they did? They went and built themselves these like luxury homes and like estates. They went and they built luxury estates. Why? Well, because after all, the do-gooders need comfortable places to stay, right? So they built luxury estates. And then with the leftovers, they did little stupid stuff like import used sneakers and used clothes from like the Goodwill throwaway stuff. They imported and like gave them out as humanitarian, right? And they gave them like them little nasty like canned stuff. What little bit they did even give away. They built, I think, a total of 6 houses in Haiti, right? Supposedly rebuilding Haiti with all the billions of dollars. And the people got wind of it and basically tore their crap up. And was like, no, y'all not getting in here when not another truck is coming through. Why? Not because they're ungrateful and don't accept help, but because the truck wasn't coming through for them. It would be building materials and all this fabulousness. Oh, yay, look at this. All this caravan of trucks with building materials. Wait, why are they passing the town? Wait, where are they going? Up the hill they go. And then 6 months later, Bill Clinton's cousin has a mansion the size of half the town up on the top of the hill. But the story is that they wouldn't let the relief trucks through. Like, y'all have to wake up. And I'm going to need you colonizers of black and white and all of y'all. I'm going to need y'all to stop telling these ridiculous behind lies, because everybody ain't stupid and everybody ain't slow. So I'm in there, and I, of course, very quickly challenged the nonsense. And then, of course, I said, this is colonization. This is colonization, and nobody wants it anymore. And, of course, he was like, oh, well, I'm trying really hard not to be that way. I said, well, good. Be quiet and listen, because I'm giving you some stuff to think about, right? Like, for real, for real. But this is the stuff that they perpetuate. And so I'm sitting there in this office, and there are Belizeans sitting there in this waiting room that you can clearly see are like, this mofo is crazy, but they're not going to say anything because they don't want to offend him, because on some level they really have been convinced that offending him is somehow detrimental to their country. So when I speak up and say this is the bullish, he's like, well, Japan was really grateful, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, Japan doesn't have the same kind of history as Haiti with the white folks. Does it? Anybody want to answer that? I'll answer it. No, they do not. You cannot compare the response of Japan with the response of Haiti. And not only can you not compare the response, but you can't even compare the experience. You cannot compare what they did in Japan with what they did in Haiti. They're just not comparable. They actually rebuilt parts of Japan with the money that went over there. Go figure. Not to say they didn't get rich doing it, but they actually did what they were supposed to go over there and do with the money. You go over to Haiti right now and show me a couple $1 billion in renewed infrastructure. Anybody, please. I'd love to see it. Because I remember raising money. I worked at Wawa at the time, which is a little like convenience store, right? Like convenience gas station store type of thing. I worked there, and I remember how much money our little one store alone raked in for Haiti. And that thing was global with these foundations. There was enough money raised. Y'all, they done had the doors open, and I guess haven't been burning the poison and stuff, and the mosquitoes are just real free around here. But like, you literally could build a new Haiti with the money that was raised. Go to Haiti. Show me where it is. I'll show you where it is. In the colonizer parts of town where you have to go through armed guards to even get a view of the house. Right? You got to drive down a half-mile secluded road that opens up into an expansive what do you call it? Estate, right? Where like your Angelina Jolie and your Clintons and them, they all got their big old estates, and they're doing the same crap down here. And then they tell somebody somewhere that they're doing somebody some favor. And the Haitians got to the place where they wasn't scared no more. They said, this is nonsense. And now the story is that they're ungrateful and they need to be more humble. And then he says, well, humility and love is always an answer. I said, yeah, I don't ascribe to that. He wants to mention Gandhi and Buddha. I'm like, yeah, they ain't my teachers. Because first of all, Gandhi didn't like black folks, okay? And I'm down with Buddha, but little do he know, Buddha was black. They don't tell y'all everything. Do your homework. Find out. Find out the original Buddha and the original Buddhas, because it's a school of prophecy, right? It's a school of philosophy. So find out who they were. Okay? Yeah, mosquitoes are going crazy in here. I don't know what y'all did that like attracted. There's a million. I've like 4 bites just from this few minutes I've been here. I just don't dig it, man. I'm tired of it. And it is time for us to cast down these lies, and stop subscribing to it. And not only stop subscribing to it, but don't even listen to it. Shut it down. Shut it down. Tell them that is absurd. When somebody's sitting around you kicking that nonsense, you flat out tell them, you know what? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Please, listen, this shuts the conversation down every single time. Okay? Just ask them to name one nation that is better off. One nation that did not have white people in it and is better off now that white people are there. One nation that the people are better off for that. It doesn't exist. There isn't one. There is literally not one. And so this idea that them showing up is somehow doing somebody a favor, is doing somebody a favor, all right? Them is doing them the favor. And we somewhere, they're like, listen, not only are we going to rape you, but you got to thank us for it and pretend you like it. No more of that. We're not doing that no more, family. We done with that, okay? No more of that. All right? So, yeah, give me a break. Give me a freaking break. You know, I had this person who I've like extended a courtesy to, that they could do some, that they could do a little work for me, and in exchange for like food and things like that, right? Like basic needs, right? Do a little work for me. And then one day we were out and about together, and they borrowed some money from me, right? I said, I really don't have it to give. They wanted to make a frivolous purchase, and they asked me to buy this thing for them. And I said, look, I don't have it for that. Like, I'm not out here buying myself that kind of stuff. I really can't just like buy you that. Like, that's not something I'm trying to be buying right now. And so they said, all right, I get it. It's cool. But let me borrow $20 so I can get it. I said, listen, you need to understand that this is a loan. Like, I'm not giving you the $20 for this thing. I'm not buying this thing for you. So when I mentioned to the person, they asked me for another frivolous thing sometime later, right? Sometime later, like a couple months later, because of course, they didn't pay me back. It is what it is. Never loan what you can't afford to give, okay? Because for real, it wasn't that serious. I could have afforded it, but the reason I couldn't afford it was not the financial expense, but the spiritual expense, because I had already given this person an item like it that they destroyed. And so they were sad that they had destroyed the item, because I had two of the items and they liked both of mine. And so I gave them one of the items, which was mine, and I kept one. They destroyed the one I gave them. So when we were in this interaction out and about shopping, I was using my item. And so they were like, oh, we're in the store. They go to grab one. Can you get me this? And so when I say I couldn't afford it, I reminded them, look, I already gave you that. In fact, I gave you mine, which I really liked and was really unique and special to me. I gave you mine. Why don't you have one now? You don't have one now because you destroyed it. You let it come to ruin. So I can't just I'm not just going to be buying you another one, right? So the expense wasn't that I couldn't financially afford it. It was that it was too costly of a karmic expense to keep casting the pearls among the swine. So now we're going to fast forward to I give the person the $20. They get the item. So months later, of course, they haven't paid me back. I see them using the item. And I say, you never paid me for that item. This person's response was that they had surely done enough work for me to earn it. No, you haven't done any work for me to earn it, because any of the work that you did for me was for whatever pay you got that day. You don't have I don't have a tab with you where you've done some work for me enough that it should be paying for this item. Delusional. We have to shut that kind of stuff down. Delusional. Okay? I'm tired of these crazy behind people running around here saying any old kind of thing they want to say. I don't think people be knowing who they dealing with, like, in the world. Like, people are just so lost and confused. Listen, chances are nobody's losing sleep over whether or not you show up with your ratchet attitude and your so-called charity. So don't be running around. Don't take yourself on over to Ghana, year of return, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Belize, Jamaica. Don't take yourself nowhere under some delusional notion that they need you there. No, you need them. You need a place outside of the context of extreme oppression and zero opportunity to be able to realize your dreams. You need natural air. You need healthy water. You need organic foods. You need these things. You ain't doing them no favor to go down there and exponentially increase your quality of life. You're doing nobody any favors but you. Best case scenario, you will find people who you can indulge and engage in cases of mutual benefit. And in which case, ain't nobody doing nobody no favors. One hand washes the other. My right hand is not doing my left hand a favor to wash it. It ain't like that. One hand washes the other. So if you're moving in intelligence and spiritual wisdom, you will be engaging in situations where one hand washes the other, in which case humility is called for from both parties. Gratitude is called for from both parties. You on some crazy y'all need me type of time? The devil is a liar, and that is soft colonization. Nobody needs you like that. Okay, what they need is for people like you with that mindset to go far, far, far away. Far away. Okay? Listen, little young girl that gets the job cleaning some grown woman's house, right? She don't need you to clean her house. I don't care how dirty it is when you show up. It's probably dirty because she want to make sure that you're there long enough to earn the money. She don't need you to come clean her house. She don't need you to watch your kid. Like, stop this mess. Okay? We're 28 minutes in. Revolution is definitely not a game. Dig it, y'all. You got to get out. If you got to get out, you know, if you're a child of the Most High, you got to get out. You got to get out in every way. And these are the kinds of ways that we get out. But this is not the time for hiding and biting your tongue. We have to cast down these lies and literally take dominion. I don't let those lies stand no matter where I am. If those lies, them kind of lies are spoken, I cast that mess down because I am taking dominion. I own the space when I'm in it. Because I come in the authority and purpose of the Most High. I own the space when I'm in it. And so we have to be taking that kind of dominion. Because in the spaces that I own, lies don't stand. Will not accept any lies. And it is time for the children of the Most High to be that serious, dedicated, sure about ourselves, determined, and all of that, so that we're shutting the mess down. Because otherwise we will build on sand. No foundation. We will just build on sand and the thing is just going to wash away. Word. So there you have it. Little tidbit. I don't know how the sound quality is or anything. This is, oh, by the way, this is the first day using the internet here at the house. It looks a little delayed. I don't know. I'm going to have to watch this after the fact and see how it's behaving. But it looks kind of weird. How it looks a little glitchy. So I don't know. Anyway, if this blessed you, like, share. If not, whatever, you know, I ain't trying to get famous. I'm just trying to feed the sheep. So I pray that this bless somebody. 29 minutes and 55 seconds. Jetty Out. Revolution is not a game. Team Yeshua, Team Ma'at all day long.